A special moment with the coach of the Super Eagles, or the manager of the Super Eagles. Sorry, they say we shouldn't say coach. The manager of the Super Eagles, Austin Cerezo Owen Iguavon. I'm one of the very few people who have the privilege to know how the name Cerezo came about, and I'm very, very proud of myself. Like, I have connections, okay? And that's a conversation that will come up another day, because it's already on a podcast that myself, Coach Emmanuel Babayaro had. We would bring it out when the time comes. But beyond that, in the last couple of months, and Coach, I'm going to send you an invoice on this matter. The reason why I will send you an invoice, I'll explain to you later. I've had everybody thinking, since we put out the film room video, that I now work as the PRO of Coach Austin Iguavon. Coach, you will help me tell them that I don't work for you. Now, just what God wants, make it be, now be. All right, Coach, good evening and welcome to this moment with you.
Good evening, my man. It's always a pleasure and nice to be in your program.
All right, so Coach, let's say the ground running, and I'm going to tell you this. 3 days ago, I put out a video saying that Coach have agreed to have an interview with me. It's the first one you're having with me since you got the job. Okay, I remember asking you a question at the press conference in Cameroon, but apart from that, this is the first time we're having an interview since you got the job as manager of the Super Eagles. And I put out that video and I asked Nigerians who are fans of the Super Eagles and also fans of yourself. And I must say that this is the first time since I've been following the Super Eagles since like 1986 that Nigerians are really in love with the coach, the manager of the team. Because, let me be very honest here, people have praised you, supported you more than those who are criticizing you. Obviously, there are a few that are criticizing you, but a lot more people have praised you for your audacity, your boldness to take the job at the time you took it and do the things that you did at the AFCON, even though we didn't go far. So I decided they should also be the ones asking the questions. So there are questions that will come to you that might shake you a little bit. So I want to warn you ahead. Some questions might shake you a little bit, but you're a tough man. I mean, Zola can testify. You're a tough man, so I don't think there's anything that can shake you. But that said, let's see the ground running. Let's go straight. I want to ask some personal questions. Coach, somebody asked me this question, and I didn't have an answer. How many children do you have?
4 children.
All right. And do you have any, like, baby, or they are all grown up?
Two of them are really grown. The other one's it's in the middle, and the other one's about 4 or 5 years old.
So coach is very active. Coach is functional, right? Coach is the man. He's the man. He's the top man. Okay, so coach, me, nothing they shake me, nothing they shock me for the life, but you shock me. 2 times you shocked me. One was beating Egypt. I won't lie, I'm your man, but I wasn't expecting you to beat Egypt. I'm sorry, but I need to speak the truth. That one shocked me. Another thing that shocked me was this team list that you released. I have never ever in my life look at the team list and I'm like, whoa, this coach get hard to he bold. But then again, Oyedo way, so if you not get hard, you go get hard. Coach, what informed the decision to make this list for this Ghana team? What informed the decision?
They say beating Egypt is not, credit shouldn't go to me alone. Not I beat Egypt. We beat Egypt. It was collective effort. From a backroom staff. And we had to discuss at length and see what's the best strategy we can adopt and to come out victorious in that game. In fact, come out victorious in the games. We played, but it wasn't to be we lost. Along with a whole lot of positives that we took away from that tournament. It's not about me, it's about the entire team, collective effort. Yes, on the present Super Eagles list, no one's above mistake, and we have to know that. And before I accepted, because I had no choice anyway to accept to go to lead it to Cameroon, because the owners for the mark table as the technical director. And thank God we didn't do badly. We did well above average. And now the World Cup qualifier, the last lap of the World Cup qualifier, it's around the corner. And I want to thank a lot of Nigerians. Of course, there will be a lot of people there who are not in support of me. But I think majority are in support of me, and that's the good thing about it, because majority always win the vote. But believe in me, after some time, we can't say we get 100% support from everybody, but we'll get a reasonable number of support that will always encourage us to go on. And when I get this support, or when we get this support from our fellow Nigerians, it spurs me up. It encourages me to want to do more, not to disappoint them. Yes, like I said, nobody's above mistake. I didn't want to really call it a mistake. Now there's no really time. There's no friendly game. There's no window for friendly game also now. I've gone around to watch some league games, home and abroad. And I cannot tell the entire world what my 100% game plan is. I only tell you what I want you to know at this point in time. So if I now put all my plans on the table, all my cards on the table, I don't have a reserve, then that's not good for anybody. You know, I know what I want, and I want the best for the team. So people should try to understand and just accept and pray and encourage us now, not to distract and discourage us. But I know our people are still out there who are in support of me and my crew. I want to urge them to continue. I will not disappoint them. Coming to the list, yes. You know, I work with subordinates. I asked questions. We talked about it, and everybody had to give me his own list. I mean, all my assistants. I won't tell you who appeared on their list or who didn't appear on their list. That's the way I operate.
No problem.
But at the end of the day, I have the final decision. So I came up with that final decision with the list. I only have to just let them know that, listen, yes, A appeared on your list, but I didn't want A. B appeared on the list, I didn't want B, for XYZ reasons. And the good thing about it, we all understand, but I've carried everybody along. So the list you have seen there, I think finally came from me. But I would not tell you 100% what my plans are. No, I won't.
Okay, Coach, I need you to keep your plans to your chest. Don't tell me the most important thing I want is for us to beat Ghana and qualify for the World Cup. I'm going to be with you in Abuja for in Ghana for the Ghana game. That's how I support people. I support you to the end. I'm going to be in Abuja, and hopefully I will be with you in Qatar. But now, let's say the grand running, like I always say, you represent Nigeria, so Nigerians also have the right to ask questions. And let me be very honest, some of the questions might annoy you. They might not be right, but it's from their perspective how they see that they are putting it across. Maybe you just help them to respond as best as you can. Having said that, let's start with the in no particular order. There's a lot of them. I got 51 questions as I am sitting here. I'm not going to be able to ask all 51. I've told you guys before. I'm saying it. Coach, as a matter of fact, let me say it here so that people know. I told Coach that I want 1 hour with him. Coach said it's never going to happen. And you know, Coach is very principled. If you say yes, yes, yes is yes. Another thing I love about you, Coach, and I must give you credit for that, is every time you've given me time, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, exactly that time you are there. I don't know how you do it, but I know that I've interviewed a lot of people in Nigeria. They tell you one time and you wait for 5 hours, they are still not there. So thank you very much for that one. Only one thing I am fasting and praying that you will change, and a lot of people from the class of 94 will change. Make una dey pick una call. But let's get on to the conversation. Benaki, there's a guy called Benaki, and I like how he started this conversation. He said, "Hello, Coach Iguavon. First, thanks for agreeing to this interview with Edafe. It's quite brave and noble of you to respond directly to the fans. Couple of questions for you. Number one question, Nations Cup postmortem. That's how I titled it. How would you personally assess the performance of the Super Eagles at the recent Nations Cup, considering you failed to achieve the level of performances you set in 2006, bronze medal, and in this case, the country's worst performance in 40 years at the tournament, despite you having a much more balanced team at your disposal?" That's his first question. I think I need you to answer that one, then I'll go to the next one and then the third one.
Yeah, well, it's a very good question. I personally felt bad. I'm very sure the team were not so happy as well. All we can do is to apologize. But if you didn't see a change in performance, I don't think I'll still be on the Eagles seat today.
True.
I'm very sure this guy that's asking this question was quite pleased with the performance of the Eagles. Otherwise, he'll be one of those people who would vote Eguavoen out and technical crew out.
True.
And for the fact that we still had followers and they were very pleased and satisfied with the way we performed. For the fact that we lost in the round of 16 at this stage, it was Nations Cup. It was Nations Cup, the past Nations Cup quarterfinals. It was the first time being increased to 24. But even at that, I don't think we achieved what we wanted to achieve. Our target was to win the cup. Anyway, a worst case scenario finals. But human being proposes and God disposes. However, there was improvement in performance. Otherwise, I won't be sitting here still, being retained as Eagles coach as of today. So if you think about it, yes, what performance in the last 40 years, but doesn't really reflect the way we play. So I'm quite satisfied with the performance. So there's always positive to take in from that. And then we're going to try to go on and mend fences and make sure we satisfy Nigerians and ourselves with the next games coming up.
And then talking about the next game, let's just jump into it. Benake went further down and he titled this one World Cup Qualifiers versus Ghana. He said, I struggle to understand your logic in selecting a table, in bracket, who hasn't played competitively in over 6 months. And Onaze playing in the second division of the Saudi Arabian League, a glorified retirement league, over Innocent Bonke, Lorraine in French Ligue 1, who not only has more recency with the Super Eagles, but is a consistent starter with his club and has tons of Champions League and big game experience. Can you explain that for Benake?
Good. You see, a table I've worked with closely. Bonke, I have, and I have not had a chance to go sit in the stand in France to watch him play. He's in our plans, no doubt. Like I said, the table I've worked closely. I've watched him closely when he played for Siasia, on the 23, when he played for former coach Genebro, Super Eagles. I've interacted with him. I haven't said that. I met him in England as well. I didn't watch how to send Port because I went to Belgium to watch the reserve games, on the 23 games, and he participated. And then he was listed among teams when they went to Old Trafford, to play against United about 2.5 weeks ago. But that fixture changed. He was supposed to be dressed, and he wasn't dressed. But he is fit. The table coming in now does not say a table will be in the starting 11. Now, all these vessels that are coming, apart from the ones that are on standby, like the young one from Denmark now, it's an opportunity to watch them closely. We have 11 that will start. We have the ones that will sub them to see how far the fitness level is. The camp or the opportunity is still very wide open for everyone. The thing now is we don't need distractions. All we need is support to cross this hurdle. And there will be opportunity to bring in 1 or 2 or 3 players that we can say, okay, we can have a look at. But fortunately, COVID-19 has disrupted a whole lot of things. So there are no much windows to start trying players. That was why in our third game in Cameroon, having qualified, almost the entire team was changed just to have a look at other players who have not had a chance to play. If there were opportunity for people window, not for the COVID-19, because after this now, qualifiers for Qatar 2022 will start. After that, the World Cup proper will come. So if there is an opportunity within, I can guarantee you, we can play with another different 11, another different reserve 11. But the opportunity has not presented itself. So we have to manage the situation. We're keeping a tab on everybody. We're watching everyone. So the slightest opportunity we have to bring in somebody, we will do it. I'm not neglecting anybody. I can tell you that for a bottom of my heart.
All right. And then he went further. His third position, he said public relations gaffes. Some of your recent comments have been rather disappointing to say the least. E.g., saying you never heard of or watched Siridesa. Wait, were you expecting the coach to lie? Or saying Kevin Akpogoma wasn't in your plans? Or even was saying you invited Onazi to pacify everybody? Seriously? I have followed Nigerian football for 4 decades, 40 years, and I've never heard a coach say such things. Highly disappointing that the NFF technical director and interim chief coach of the Super Eagles, you need to unapologetically own your decision. The buck stops on your table, period. Thanks again, and best of luck against Ghana. God bless the Super Eagles, Ben A. Coach, you know, that position, I was surprised when I saw Onazi. Onazi is my friend. I like him. But I was shocked. Onazi on the standby list. I thought this guy had retired. But then, in my own football school, I also believe that the gaffer is the final arbiter. He's the one that have the final say. So I left that to you. But all of these things, you need to answer this question first.
You see, God bless that guy too. Because he said, God bless Super Eagles, God bless him too. Now, for someone to say, Austin Ogbavon said he invited Onazi to pacify, did you hear it from my mouth?
Good.
That's not true. That is not true. How can I say that? Somebody who doesn't even have educational background will not even say that. At least I went to school a little bit. How am my position? You think I will open my mouth to say that to the entire world? You started this program by saying there are people who are in support of my being Eagles coach. There are also people who are also not in support.
True.
Maybe these are one of the people who doesn't want to come as a coach. Believe in my brother. There's no way I will open my mouth. Stories have been twisted that Ogbavon tries to pacify me. It's not possible. How on earth will I open my mouth to say that? Inviting Onazi, yes, I have my reasons. Experience Cameroon captain. Where is he playing?
Abubakar, Saudi Arabia.
Good. Onazi is on a standby and we're making a whole lot of noise about it. Onazi is not even starting. Onazi is not even in the 23 yet. He's not even coming to camp for whatever reason because he's on standby. And then you think I will now open my mouth and tell the world that I invited Onazi or listed Onazi on the standby list to pacify. It is not true. I never said anything like that.
You know, coach, before we go into this, the beauty of this, I had a chatting conversation with somebody on Monday on this very talk. And the guy was like, hey, Daffy, you always defend the coach because you are on his payroll. I said, don't worry. Coach would defend himself when the time comes. I know the man who he is an erudite communicator. He would explain himself. So I'm happy that you've responded to this. And there are some people who also believe that your selection was influenced by powers from above. Like the next question coming from Hybrid 10. It's your brother, it's your dear brother. He loves you. This one loves you. He said, hello, coach. Thank you for your service to the nation. He's sending this message all the way from America. He said, I am learning from another source, Colin Udo to be exact, who stated that he was told by a source, another source told us, another source, that there is interferences in your selection of your players, as 2 players in the team were selected from higher up. This is very concerning for me as a fan because I want the coach to be the sole decider in player selection. Can you please confirm or deny this claim? Thanks again for addressing my question.
No, nobody from the higher office or hierarchy selected anybody. No. I've told you from the beginning of this program, I asked my subordinates to send their list. And they did. And then from this whole thing, I was able to pick up the ones that I wanted because I have the final say. Nobody from a higher end there. No way.
Right, that's a very good one. And going forward, anybody who have 2 questions, I will only take 1 question from you so that I'll be able to touch other people on this process. Okay, so this is coming from Timothy. Timothy Akinyomi from Lagos. He says, it is becoming so worrisome, the standard of referee officiating in the continent. One can only conclude that team of effort and tactics is not enough to win games in Africa. Was there a platform to discuss this with CAF after the AFCON? Was this even discussed during your ongoing CAF management training? Do you have a plan to manage a very big, to manage a very bad officiating match? We had that in the Nations Cup against Tunisia, where the officiating was bad. So I guess that's the reason why this man is saying this.
Yeah, referee matter. I don't want to go in. You know why? Because the year, I think yes, October 1993, just before the World Cup. No, after the World Cup.
No, before the World Cup.
Before the World Cup, and I got into, I wouldn't say a fight or confrontation with the referee. And I was suspended for the entire season. So from that day to today, I've decided whatever has to do with the referee, I stay clear. So I let my club chairman, in this case, I'm coaching the club, to handle that. So I don't.
All right, thank you very much. We seem to be having a little bit of a network problem, but I'm going to go to the next question. This one is coming from Fisayo Oshibodu. He said, are you open to switching from the 4-4-2 formation when we are playing against a team that stacks the wings and defend deep, like Tunisia did in the AFCON? How would you switch formation? I don't think Coach would answer this one. Coach, please, I don't think you need to answer this one because you already answered it with the Tunisian game. The team changed formation multiple times. And in the second question, he said, are there any attacking midfielder, either in Europe or in the MPFL, that you are currently monitoring or looking to invite in the near future? If there are, could you name 2 or 3 of them?
Very good question, because like I told you earlier on, I don't want to tell people what my 100% plan are or is. You know, it's kind of fortunate. Yeah, that's why I went around the league, here and abroad. But the system that I like to play is to look for a player, 2 offensive midfield player who can run box to box. Well, we used to have late Oliha and Mutia Adepoju. If I can find those type of 2 players as we speak today, your formation will change. You have to plan your team around what you have, your strength. That's how you have to plan, how you're going to prosecute the games. So if I could find a player in same caliber of Late Oliha and Mutia Adepoju, our system will definitely change a little bit. But however, what we have right now, we will see how we can modify and try to see how we can prosecute these games.
Coach, invite me. I can play like Leo. You never see me. You never watch me. I can play like that too. Give me invite. I'll come and prove myself. Wallahi.
Why I went to a lot of league games. I went out there to check, even when I was in Europe, but I have not been able to find one. So when people think that I'm turning my eyes away from some kind of player, it's not true. There's a particular thing that I'm looking for in a player that I haven't found yet.
All right, this one is coming from Mr. Certified. He said, under Genetra, we had a video analyst that would always have videos on the opposition players. Do we have a video analyst right now? Do we have someone whose job is to scout the strengths and weaknesses of each of the invited players of the opposition? Do we have that right now in the Super Eagles?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Who's that person?
So we do.
Okay.
We have Dr. Terry, we have John Ibogun, and we are still trying to get one young boy from England as well now.
Okay. So, guys, you've heard that we have video analysts. You just don't know. Okay, so Divine Tonkei, I'm going to take one of your questions. You said, as a technical director, I didn't find it will nice enough to hear you say you have not watched Siridesa. There are still some other players, midfielders especially, that I believe can really help the Super Eagles, but they have not been in the conversation for them, for the team. Players like Jack Ikbalibo, Yusuf Al-Hassan, Raf Onyedika, and Obina Nwombodo. So the real question is, are there plans to check out some of these players after the World Cup qualifiers, or are you just sticking with the players that you already have?
There are plans. You see, now you're talking about Cyril Gaza. Where is he playing? MPFL? Answer is no. Exactly. So am I going to take the train from here to Holland? The answer is no. So the time has to be right. When I say I haven't watched the players, I'm talking about I haven't watched them live. On TV, of course, I follow. And that brings me back to a table, which I've worked closely with, I've seen, we've interacted. So, this even before Demola Lukman was listed, I was in Leicester. We had a conversation 3 days before the league game. So his responses to me also informed whether he was going to be in the list or not. If his responses were negative, I would have been a little bit hesitant as well. It's like I said earlier, we are having a close look to everyone. And there's a player also in Antwerp. Belgium is my home as well.
Yeah.
And there's a midfielder is FC Antwerp. I've told people to help me check him out as well. They even get me his contact. But I only saw him on TV. I have to travel to Antwerp when the time is right. We'll sit down, we'll discuss. Because of the quality I said I'm looking for, one of my friends, Mark, his name is Mark Clarice, is a Belgian citizen, the white guy. Anyway, he has helped me check the boy out. So the boy has that quality that I said I want. So the slightest opportunity I have now.
Oh, network. Coach, the network is freezing. And we do hope that it will come back and explain to us about the player in Antwerp that is trying to check out, he's looking out for, and hopefully, okay, coach is back. He was talking about.
I tell you what, we'll send an invitation to the player somewhere, and it doesn't show up.
Wow.
What happens? When you have not engaged, you have not gone to conversation. If he wants to play, I always say he or she, because football is, you have Super Falcons, you have Super Eagles as well today. You send invitation through, I ignores it, it doesn't come. I'll tell you another thing. When Agbola was the Aston Villa, I went to England. I tried to reach him on the phone before going to Villa, because it's not a place you just go to Benetran Stadium and start looking for a player. No. Then the question was, why do you want to see Gabriel Agbola? I said, I'm a coach of the national team. We're interested in coming for him to play for Nigeria. Want to have a conversation. They said, okay, they'll get back to me.
And they never...
Believe me, hours later, they did. They got back to me, only to say Agbola is not ready to see anybody at this point in time. Maybe some other time.
Wow.
Take, for example, you put an invitation to Aston Villa, invite Agbola, and you look stupid if he doesn't show up.
True.
So you must engage people first and discuss and find out if it's something they want to get into or not. I appreciate all this because we are all learning. It's also knowledge. We are trying to, like somebody was writing or saying, "Oh, Governor, you were very bold. Hey, I love you because you didn't invite Iwobi." I just smiled.
Iwobi's on red card. He's not eligible for the game.
That's what I'm saying, but he didn't know. He didn't know. I want to say, Liz, thank you very much. I appreciate everything, but Iwobi is not eligible for this game because of a strict red card. Likewise, are you?
Yeah. And then there's a question from Kazar, and this is what he's had to say. And I'm also thinking in that light, and I've actually not heard your voice say it, but the conversation around Victor Moses gives me some cause for concern. He said you recently mentioned that you had plans on recalling Victor Moses to the national team. While I agree that Victor Moses is a good player, don't you think inviting him back to the Super Eagles will set a precedent for players to feel like they can choose to play for the Super Eagles only when there is a major tournament coming up? With the recent recall of Igalo just months before the AFCON, and then Onazi and now Victor Moses, it seems like a dangerous trend being set.
Yeah, that's another good question. Because you know what? We want the best for the country. We want to try as much as possible to qualify and try to go as fast as we can go at the World Cup, even possibly win it. Why not? Nothing is impossible. And we want the best players. Yes, personally, I spoke with Victor Moses. And then I keep the rest of my chest. I keep it on my chest. But for Moses to come back, or whoever player to come back, we're going to have to sit down and talk. We've had chat, we've discussed. But every other thing, I will not let you know on this platform.
No problem.
Take it back to the office, discuss it, and find the best possible way or the best solution, something that will not destabilize the team and make sure we achieve our goals.
When you came back from the AFCON, the NFF changed some backroom staff and readjusted it, and then Amonike came in. Did you support the change, or you opposed to it?
No, it wasn't changed. Probably in the eyes of the world or out there in the media, yes, but we still have everybody intact. It's only addition. Yeah.
Good. Thank you for that. Thank you for that clarification, because that's one thing I was looking to hear. Because I've been thinking, I think that Terry Egwaji is still with the team, but he's working behind the scene. And then I remember
very much intact.
We were with you in London. Yeah, we were with you in London, and we saw that Paul Aigbogu was really working with the team. So I was like, there is actually no change. But you know, when you say this, everybody say that you are PR for Amaju, you are PR for NFF, you are PR for Iguavo. But I like the fact that you are the one that is saying it. You guys don't know what I get to face every day. Like, it's just my job, but people see it differently. Now I have a question from Olu Yara Emmanuel. He said, why haven't you been inviting Kevin Akpoguma since you became the coach, even though he's one of the few defenders playing top football for Hoffenheim in the German Bundesliga? And finally, what do you think of our current goalkeeper, and what does he think of the guys like Adebayo Adeleye and Sebastian Osigwe, two goalkeepers in Europe?
Good. You see, I think I have vast knowledge about everyone. Good. Adebayo was also in my team on the 17 that I took to South Africa some years ago.
Yeah.
At the Gauteng tournament. So I know the kid. We play in Ghana now. It's not a friendly game. So you cannot just bring somebody new into the fray right now. Like I said, I have a list of a whole lot of players. For the appropriate time, that is what we are looking for, to give them that opportunity. If that window comes, I've told you, we might change the entire team and play with a fresh team. And by so doing, before the World Cup, hopefully by the grace of God, we'll qualify with hard work. And then we'll come up with, we cannot select the best to take to the World Championship. And then on that of Akpoguma, you see, this is why I'm a very reserved person. Because our people, not just Nigeria alone, the entire world, people twist words. Akpoguma, yes, was out of the list that went to the African competitions. But slightly after the list was released, we still had opportunity to bring in one or two. And then Balogun was hurt. You know, it was an opportunity. He couldn't go because of his backache. And then we sent back for Akpoguma to come. He didn't. His club now said no. So you see, I want people to know that if you're out of a team, that does not mean you cannot be recalled. That's the end. Some players think, I've not worked with Akpoguma, but I've seen him close a little bit here in Lagos, in Benin. We went to
Sierra Leone
together as well. Very good player, no doubt. But at that point in time, we had Balogun, Ekong. I've watched Balogun play many games alongside Ekong. I've watched Ekong, I've watched Omero, I've watched Ajayi. So Akpoguma, maybe a mistake, maybe it's ahead of them. Okay, but he wasn't there. Now that Balogun confirmed that he couldn't be in the AFCON, I asked that he was sent for. But his club promptly refused. They didn't reply, so he didn't come. That was why I now have to opt for that young boy in South Africa, who is unfortunately not on the list now. But that's not to me, he's out. We're talking about Nda. Exactly. Another good player. I saw him in the league here. He's doing well in Orlando Paris, but he went to AFCON, or he's not present in the league. That does not mean he's not going to be part of this team as time goes on.
Fantastic.
So Akpoguma, nothing against him, but if another opportunity comes, yes, we will always give them the opportunity.
All right, there's somebody whose name, he said is the Super Eagles fanatic. I want to ask him, why didn't he play Chidera Ejuke? Are we still on this matter? In the midfield during the AFCON? And why hasn't he included Ejuke in the World Cup qualification? And now, because before you answer this, I was at the AFCON, and I'm going to say this: Coach loves Ejuke. Coach put his hand on the shoulder and told me, this guy is the future of the Super Eagles. So I don't know what coach is going to say, but I was there. I have it on tape. Okay, so coach, maybe you should say the same thing to them and let them know how much you love Educate, but why didn't you invite him, or why didn't you play him against Tunisia? That's now your own technical position. I don't have the power about that one.
You know, only 23 players were dressed to go in a game.
Yeah.
And Educate wasn't listed among the 23. He didn't dress in that game. If he had dressed, he would have come in. Because on that day, he was not on the bench. That's why he didn't come in against Tunisia. You cannot come from the stand and then go into the field. That's impossible. You know, I've spoken to most of them, one after the other. The best position and the alternative position. Right? Now, as of today, on the left side, which Educate said is one of his best positions.
Yeah.
Now we're giving up. I've seen Educate. I still hold him close to my heart. Now we give opportunity to Demola Lukman, and then you have Moses Simon. And on the right side, Dennis has come back, and then Chukwueze. If you look at it, we're strong there, and we're strong here. And then up there, got Osime, Sadiq, who's great in weight right now, and the experience of Igal. I also spoke with when I saw Laika as well. I know their qualities. I know Audio Igalo last played for me on the 23, but I watched him playing up to wherever he was, up to Man United and where he is now, and then again last time against Slim. So it was nice to see him closely again. Not that his door is shut for everyone out there. His door is still very open for everyone out there. So this is only a game, and what we did was that 2 players in each position, and then 3 goalkeepers, and then all the other ones on the standby. Then we have a balanced team. If you now take Educate and now have 4 on the left side, 2 on the right side, 1 on the left back, 7, then you have imbalanced team. So it's just about balancing at this point in time. And the boys, they understand. And believe me, Educate is still the revelation. Whether it's on this standby list or not, I'm not going to give you my 100% my plan. I have my own plan.
Yeah, so from the fans, this is going to be the last question I'm going to take from the fans, and then I'm going to ask my 2 questions, and I'll let you go. Here's a Patrick said, hello, big coach. My name is Patrick from Lagos. My question is, what do you think we need to do as a nation? I mean, this is questioning your side of a technical director now. As a nation, to be able to compete with top nations in football. And if we qualify, now this is a coach, if we qualify to the World Cup, so don't say if we qualify, when we qualify, we'll go qualify you, I beg you. How well do you think the current crop of players available to you can do at the world stage?
You see, the thing is, it's a very good question, man. We'll qualify through hard work. We'll work hard and make sure we win both legs and then appear at the World Cup stage. Now, for Nigerian football to keep improving is, first of all, to have a whole lot of facilities, train our coaches more, and then try to see how we can set up camps, which I have in my mind as a technical director, to have 6 national teams at the age grade level, at the 6 geopolitical zones, where we have under 15, under 17, and under 20. And we have a center in Abuja, which is a central area, and that's what they do in Holland. And then you have national coaches all over these regions as well, looking for players and coaching them, having taken the philosophy, the way we want to play from the central area, and then use it at these zones. And then all the best players in these zones will always appear in Abuja periodically. If you're not doing well here, you return back to the zone. If you're doing well here, you come to the middle. If you're not doing well in the zone, you're out completely. So by so doing, and then we have 3 players in each position, then in another 2 or 3 years, you see we have a formidable team scattered, from all over the country.
Wow.
You understand what I mean? And then to do well at the World Cup, we talked about how far you think we can go. I think that's the question here.
Yes, sir.
The good thing is, before the World Cup, there's always a window of 1 month.
Yeah.
So we have opportunity to have a whole lot of friendly games and look at players day in, day out. Because this is not, we all know friendly games 48 hours before a game. Continental competitions 10 days to 2 weeks before a game. And then World Cup itself is about 4 weeks before the World Cup proper. Everybody's released. So if we train and play serious friendly games and watch everybody closely, we should be able to come up with a very formidable team.
Coach, it's been a wonderful time getting the fans to connect to you. I'm just a bridge, right? But I am also a fan of the Super Eagles. I'm your fan. I love you as a coach. I love the team. I would always love the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Whether we win or we lose games, I would always love the Super Eagles of Nigeria. But how difficult it is to be the manager of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. How difficult. And remember, you've been a player before for the Super Eagles. You've been a captain of the Super Eagles. You've coached different times. Is there a point where, as a coach, now you now look back and say, now this thing I was out of the face that time. Now this thing how difficult is it to be the manager of the Super Eagles of Nigeria?
It's very, very tough. Very tough because, we are human beings are very demanding. And again, we're a football nation, which is normal. So if we want to we don't want to settle for less. We always want to go for the best. And by so doing, we want to win every trophy available. So to be saddled with that responsibility, I think is a very tough one. But there will be critics everywhere, left, right, center, definitely. But the ability to be able to hold on and then shed most things away and remain focused matters a lot. So who remain focused, the only play to people is, yes, mistakes are there to be made, but they should try, at crunch time like this, not to discourage one. It's always to encourage and support people, because things like this if somebody's not strong, it can throw him or her off guard, but I am focused, and people who I know have a lot of fans out there. Thumbs up for my fans. Then the ones who are not my fans, is normal, because you don't expect everybody to like you.
True.
But I love everybody. So by the grace of God, we all celebrate together after the two-legged games.
When I was growing up, and this is where I would let you go. When I was growing up and following the Super Eagles, it is almost impossible for born in the abroad children to play for the Nigerian national team. John Fashanu, Chris Armstrong, John Salako, Ruben Agbola, even though he played in the team later in Senegal 92, Abe George. It is very difficult. Today, it's now becoming very difficult for born in Nigerian players to play in the Super Eagles, but very easy for born in the abroad to play in the Super Eagles. My question to you on that regard is, how did our football turn? How did our football reverse? To make it so easy, once you're born abroad, you choose. We even go and beg you to come play for Nigeria. Back in the day, they used to come beg us that they want to play for Nigeria. And we say, no. You're not strong enough. You need a shop at two. This is your salad. You're not going to feel and play for us. How did we change?
It's very simple, because we want results. We want immediate results. So that we want immediate results. Now, Flying Eagles, then we used to come for a whole long time period. Super Eagles, Green Eagles as well, long time. And today, if you put these players in the NPFL in a game and you don't win, you are gone.
True.
When was the last time we got to the finals of CAF Champions League or Confederation Cup?
2004.
Close to semi-final. It's been long. When Enyimba dominated, ruled Africa
about 20 years ago,
we had the likes of Waneri and co drafted to the team. Waneri played for me as well. Forgotten this guy's name also. He's in midfield also. Played. With Rationale. Yaro was in Enyimba, was also in Kano Pillars. played. Eliagu played. But today, with CAF Champions League, because anytime you find one good player, a very good season, one or two is gone. If we could match the salaries of the South African League, I think Unda will still be here.
True.
But he's gone. So it's because we want immediate result. There is no patience. You know, you have to give a team or a coach minimum of 2 or 3 years to put the best and start winning trophies. It's not something you win in 6 months or 1 year. It's difficult because we want immediate result. That is why today you want to opt for the player playing in England or Bulgaria or Holland or somewhere. But if we put these boys together, Keshi's team that did well, and Keshi, the late Keshi, rest in peace, have few of them that went to the African competitions and then the World Cup. Keshi's team was always in camp for about 3 months, playing friendly games everywhere, every now and then. How many times have our home base played friendly game? Only once in US the other day against Mexico. And then they came back, people started saying, these ones cannot play for Nigeria, this, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. And then back to their clubs. Nothing happened. We're supposed to go to Congo, and then the tournament was cancelled again. Nothing. So if you don't have the avenue of testing players, give them exposure for international friendly game, it's always going to be difficult. Except there is long-term camping, organized tournaments and all of that. And then, see, now Chang will start very soon. Hopefully the boys will come to camp. So if we get the Chang team together, and then after the Chang, then we now periodically they come, we hold them, bring in one, remove another one, elimination by substitution, so on and so forth. Then we'll have a crop of players to pick from. Today now, Aqua plays a different system. Enyimba plays a different system. Shooting Stars, Rivers United. I've watched league games. So how can you just bring a player and put in there? I remember way back in Holland, you can take a player from VVV and put in the Holland national team because it's the same style. So if these guys are not trained and let them know how we want them to play and how we want them to operate, it's always going to be difficult except to come together for a very long period of time and then we start teaching them the way we want them to play. And then everything will be okay. It's just that immediate result that we want that is making things a little bit difficult. That's why we're looking out there.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. You just made me get very, very emotional. And I know that I promised it was going to be 30 minutes, but we've done more than that. And thank you for indulging me as a big brother. Thank you very much for your time. I hope that, I would interview you again till the match time. I'll see you in Abuja. I'll be in Abuja from 19th or 18th, and we'll have more time to talk. But I want to say from my heart to you, Coach, you took on the most difficult job, the timing, and this is not the first time. In 2006, it happened. You've never really gotten that time where they say, oh, you have to come, make your own plan. It's always the rescue man, like, hey, we are dying, come and save us. We are dying, come and save us. There's only one thing I can only wish you, that this time around, I hope that you qualify for the World Cup and you reap from all of the labors that you put in. As we say in our national anthem, the labors of our heroes past shall never be in vain, but your heroes present right now. And we do hope that your labor will not be in vain. Thank you very much for your time on Elegweta TV and radio, and to all of the fans out there who are reaching out to you. Maybe some of us don't put our words the right way, but we all love you because you're one of us. I said the other day that every of the 9 countries that have won the World Cup with their own coaches. There's not a foreign coach that have won the World Cup for their country. And all of these things you've said, they are the plain truth. Some people might not like the truth, but it's the plain truth. I just hope that we'll reach the place where we set up a plan like this. I like the idea of the zonal team and then coming to the center. I just hope that one day these people will be bold enough to put it into action and they will get working. Thank you very much for your time, Coach.
My pleasure, sir. Love you all. Ciao.
Bye. Ciao. It's been a nice time talking to the coach.
You are listening to Elegbetter TV Radio.